Hey friends, happy Sunday. I am just grabbing a cup of coffee before I go sit down to chat with you. So maybe you want to do the same. Grab a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a nice cool beverage because I know some places it's getting to be quite warm. I think today here it's going to be about almost 90 degrees, so that's kind of crazy. I'm just coming back from vacation, so the house is kind of in shambles, and you know how it is when you get back from vacation. There's like a million things you have to do, and it's kind of like you come back from vacation and then you need a vacation from the vacation, and then you also need a few days to recover and like do laundry and dishes and all the things. So that's kind of where I'm at. We just got back from vacation a couple days ago, and then I actually had a migraine for like a day and a half after that. I think it was from all the driving and all the we had really kind of bad weather. We went to the Blue Ridge Mountains. We did the Blue Ridge Parkway, and in North Carolina and Virginia, and we ran into tons of fog and tons of rainy weather, cloudy weather. It was beautiful and nice and cool up there, but it was also, not ideal situation to be able to see what we wanted to see. So, unfortunately, our vacation was it was cut short. We actually did cut it short a day because the conditions were so, just not the best. So I will try to share some photos and stuff on, probably on Facebook if you're following me, just so you can see what we did get to see, which was gorgeous, but we didn't get to see quite as much as we had hoped. So yeah, just getting back from vacation, just getting back from the mountains, and then, and it was like in the 60s and 70s there, and here it's going to be almost 90 today. So welcome back to Missouri. Yeah, so this past week was, just focused on vacation and spending time with my parents and spending time in the mountains and enjoying what we were doing. And with that kind of came the theme of being present in the moment. And that's a theme that's carried through and has actually become more prominent since I got home from vacation. And so I think that's what I want to talk about today, because that's what's really showing up for me right now. And I don't know if you guys are feeling the same thing. Like we're going through so much. There's so much happening in the external world. There's so many terrible and tragic and scary things going on in the world that it's so easy to get distracted and carried away. And, we're all trying to be good people. We're all trying to be aware, and we're all trying to be as helpful as possible, and, to be conscious of what's going on in the world. And in doing so, we are kind of taking ourselves out of our own daily experience and inserting ourselves into, experiences going on around the world, and really taking those on and really feeling, the pressure to act, to do, to change, to contribute to causes, and to try to, make change happen. And that is so important. It is so important for us to get behind causes that we believe in, and to, share our opinions respectfully, and to, encourage change where change is needed, absolutely. But at the same time, it's also just as important for us to stay present in our own daily experience, because that is truly the only place we can affect change. I wish I had it pulled up, but there's a quote by Howard Zinn, who's actually paraphrasing something. Actually, I think the quote is by Howard Zinn, and Noam Chomsky paraphrased it in the movie Requiem for the American Dream, which is a great movie, by the way, if you haven't seen it. And he says something along the lines of, the only thing that creates change is the thousands of tiny, small actions taken by average people every single day. That's the only thing that has ever affected change. That is the only thing that will ever affect change going into the future. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think that the only place that we can actually create change is within our own experience, within our own choices, within our own actions, and within the ways that we express ourselves in our own life experience. And it's absolutely vital, like I said, to try to, support the causes that we believe in and to affect change on a larger scale. But it's also so key that we just start with the here and now in our own lives. And so, wow, I just got really preachy really fast. So I didn't really mean to do that, but I'm so passionate about it. I'm so passionate about the fact that we can make change. We can make change. You can make changes, I can make changes happen in this world, but it starts on an individual level, and it starts with, as Michael Jackson would say, the man in the mirror. It starts with us, right? It starts with the way that we choose to be in our daily experience. And so that's really been coming up for me a lot. And I think the fact that I had a migraine for a couple of days really hammered that home for me, because the last time we ever want to be present in our daily experiences is when something's uncomfortable or something is painful or something hurts us, or, there's heartbreak or there's a headache or whatever. When we're uncomfortable, it's extremely hard to sit with that discomfort and to be present with that, and to be gentle with ourselves and to allow ourselves that experience, even though it's so uncomfortable or it's so painful. And that's a lot of what's going on right now. Is just, it's not pretty, it's not comfortable, it's not fun, it's the hard stuff. We're seeing a lot of tragedy play out in the world, and a lot of strife and a lot of problems. And I think a headache is just a physical manifestation of that kind of stuff, it's that same difficult, challenging, painful, not fun, not easy to sit with kind of vibe. And so, of course, my instinct, when I had a headache, was to fix it, was to do something different. It was to, take my migraine medicine and try to feel better and try to get up and do stuff anyway, because I have a ton of stuff to do from getting home from vacation. And there's so much I need to do, with my new project, Pretty Abandoned, and I've got photos to edit, and I've got, more photos to take, and I've got photos to get to people who've ordered them, and I have tons of things going on, like everybody else, right? And so my urge was to get past the discomfort so that I could be productive. And I think we do that so often. We try to skip past the uncomfortable stuff. We try to skip past the conflict and skip past the hard conversations, or the challenging feelings, or the pain, or the heartbreak, so that we can get back to being productive human beings and feeling good about what we're doing with ourselves, right? It's hard to feel good when you don't feel good and when you aren't able to really do the things you need to be doing. And that goes for the individual scale, like having a headache and not being able to get up and clean the house. But it also goes for the global scale, where you're looking at all the pain and suffering that's going on in the world out there and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got to do something. I've got to make change. I've got to, what can I do? But we are just human beings. We are just individuals. And sometimes there just isn't anything we can do about what's going on in the world around us, or what's going on in our own bodies. We have to just kind of sit with it and be uncomfortable and be present in those really tough moments. And that's incredibly hard, incredibly challenging, on all levels. And yet it's necessary, because we can't make change any other way. We can't make change if we're not being present in our daily experience. We have to be present and make those choices moment to moment in order to affect change on a larger scale. And so for me, to bring it back to the headache, for me, that was literally just saying, it's okay to not be productive today. It's okay to rest. It's okay to just lay in bed. It's okay to go back to bed. It's okay to close my eyes and to, let the medicine do its job and to let sleep take over so that my body can reset, so that I can go back to being productive. And on the larger global scale, I know that this is a hard concept to grasp for me as well. And I know that many people would handle this differently or would probably challenge me on this, but I really don't get too caught up in global happenings. I think a lot of it is, this is really going to be inflammatory for some people, I think, but I think a lot of it's just fear-mongering by the media. Yes, there are tragic things happening, absolutely. Yes, there are scary things going on in the world. Yes, we can do things and make change, but only if we're able to do the same in our own experiences, right? Like, the only thing we can control is ourselves and our own experiences, and we can't really do much out there if we can't do anything in here. If we're not present and able to change ourselves, we can't expect to be able to make change anywhere else. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, and so the reason I'm saying that, the reason I'm clarifying that, is because my view on things that are going on outside in the world is they're absolutely terrible. They're absolutely ridiculously tragic and harmful and terrible things going on out there. But if I get caught up in that, if I choose to get caught up in that fear and that anxiety and that pressure to do something, to make change, then I can't be effective in my own life because I'm caught up in something that I can't really control. And so I choose not to get super caught up in that kind of stuff. I mean, I absolutely do feel the heartbreak, and I feel, I feel the pain, and I feel, I know what's going on in the world. I'm conscious of it, and I'm aware of it, and I do feel for the people that are being affected, and I know how privileged I am that I'm not being affected directly, and I feel that when I need to feel it, and then I let it go because I have to. Because to be a functioning human being, I can't hold everything. I don't have space for everything that's going on in the world in here. There's a limited amount of space, which is what I keep talking about in my videos. I feel like I keep coming back to the same concepts, but those concepts are truth for me, and so I guess that makes sense, right? So yeah, this video went kind of sideways. This is not really where I expected this one to go, but it's okay, right? So I guess the whole point is, the theme that's been coming up for me has been presence, being present in my experience even with uncomfortable feelings. And that was all to be able to move forward from that place of discomfort and to be able to set my own priorities, right? Not let my priorities be set by external factors any more than I have to, Sometimes external factors play a role, and they do help us set priorities, but as much as possible, I really try not to let external factors dictate my own priorities for the day or for my life. And so that being present thing is really, so it's being present and setting priorities, and then, using that presence to act on those priorities. That's kind of where that theme has been coming up for me. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm trying my best to be present with what's going on in my life and with what's going on in the world to an extent, but also to protect myself a little bit from those things and to distance myself where I can. just because I need to have that energy in order to actually affect change and make decisions and set priorities that are truly beneficial in my own life. And so it's not that I'm trying to distance myself from what's going on in the world. It's not that I'm trying to not be a part of the human race, or that I'm being selfish, or that I'm being self-involved. It's that I'm self-invested. And I know that the only way I can affect change in the world out there is to truly change the way I behave, the way that I live. And so, yeah, I mean, that's the only way I know to make change happen. And so that's the way that I'm approaching it. You know, I'm sitting here kind of having a mental debate with myself, like, should I even post this video, because it got kind of preachy, and you know, people are going to disagree with me, and it's going to be you know, kind of maybe inflammatory, or people are going to think that I'm this way or that way or whatever. But you know, this is just the way that I'm handling things in my own life, and I'm not at all saying that this is a one-size-fits-all prescription, that everybody should handle things the way that I do. And that goes for all my videos and all of my musings and all the things that I share. I'm really just sharing what's going on in my own life experience, with hopes that it can help shed some light on like internal processes, right? Because we don't talk about those things a lot as human beings. We talk a lot about surface level stuff, or we talk a lot about what's going on physically in our lives. We don't always talk about what's going on inside our heads or our hearts. We don't usually get to that deep of a level. A lot of times we'll focus on current events or the weather, you know, those types of things that we truly can't do too much to change, where we don't really talk about the things inside our heads or inside our hearts that we actually can change, or that we actually can affect. And so that's the whole point of this journey that I'm on, is to share with you guys the things that are going on inside my heart and my head as I'm tackling my daily life experience, you know, and trying to experiment and play with it and make it even more enjoyable for myself. And so the whole point is really just to share the journey with you, and to document the journey for myself, honestly, so that maybe we can all learn something, or maybe we can all shift something, or maybe we can all affect change in our own individual ways. And I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't know. I don't have a plan for like how that works. You know, I don't have a plan for teaching you guys anything. I have a plan for staying consistent and sharing my experience every week with you, and that is as far as that goes. I don't sit down and make content plans every week. I don't sit down and think about what I'm going to talk about most of the time. Most of the time it's really just what's on my mind and what's on my heart at the moment. And I want to keep it that way, because that's more real to me. That's more honest and open. And I really just want to be vulnerable and share what's going on for me, in hopes that in some way, shape, or form that might actually serve you. That's my intention, is to be of service in this world. And the only way I know how to do that right now is to keep sharing my experience, and to keep talking about the crazy, inflammatory, weird things that are going on inside my head and my heart. And hopefully that will somehow create positive change or positive shifts in the external world. You know, I think that vulnerability has that power, and that's why I'm here, honestly. So I'm getting all self-conscious, and like I don't really know what else to say. So I think I'm going to just close this one out. Gosh, it's been almost 20 minutes already anyway. So if you're still hanging in with this, with me here. Thank you for watching. I really, truly, truly, truly appreciate you guys and your support. And I guess I'll see you guys next week. All my love. Take care.